Welcome, everybody. It's No Agendas. I'm your guy, Rashad Phillips, and I'm with my co-host, Kendrick Big Perk. What's going on, dog?
Man, I'm on the ropes like Ali, man. Ali weaving them punches, man. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I've been having to weave a lot of punches, man. There's been a lot of conflict, man, and goddamn punches thrown my way. People been jabbing, throwing hooks, overhand rights. I'm working on my weave game, Yoda.
You've been causing quite a stir on TV the last couple of days, man, with the James Harden, Steph Curry talk, and
I learned from you.
don't put that, don't put that on me. I jumped in your comments the other day with the Steph Curry Harden.
Who was it?
I got a chair thrown at me. I had to get up out of there, baby. You starting these bar brawls, bro. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, what's up with that though? Like, give me a little bit of spiel on the James Harden Curry thing real quick.
I mean, here it is though, Yoda. This is my thing, right? At the end of the day, we're talking basketball, right? It's just at the end of the day, we're debating basketball, and if you're losing sleep over debating basketball, then you're taking it way too serious. All right. That's the first thing. But it was brought to me. You know what I'm saying? They asked me a question. ESPN asked me, who was the better player? This is not no knock on Steph Curry, and I'm not about to give an hour speech about it because I didn't give Steph Curry his flowers, and he's going to go down as the greatest shooter of all time. Like you said in your words, he's one of one. Yeah. He's generational talent. He gave all little guards hope to make it to the NBA, guys that are not athletic, that can score the ball, the Trae Youngs and stuff like that are not above the rim athletes. But if you could shoot the ball, you could have a hell of a career. Okay. Yeah. I'm giving Steph his flowers, man. 2-time MVP, whatever. I don't have no hate for Steph. This is the problem that I have. Because you're told to pick a side doesn't mean that you hate the other person.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I don't hate Steph. I just picked the other side. Like, I just felt like to me, James Harden is the better all-around player. That's all I said. Now, can you knock James Harden, a guy that has 4 50-point triple-doubles, 1 60-point triple-double, a guy that had a season where he averaged 29, 11, and 8, a guy that made the Houston Rockets relevant again? Like, I'm just saying, big bro, like, tell me if I'm wrong. But I wouldn't knock a person if they was to say, hey, I choose Steph. Okay, cool. But give me some facts. Okay, this is your facts. I can probably roll with it. Yeah. I'm not going to knock you, though. And I'm not going to say, oh, you chose Steph, you're hating on James. No, it ain't like that.
I see what you're saying. I saw Warriors World made a T-shirt with you and Steph.
I DM'd them too. I DM'd them my Cash App. Let me get my lettuce now. Let me get my lettuce. Acting like the money going to a non-profit organization or something. Man, come on, man. Run it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was. I love James, obviously. He's a terrific player. Maybe that's an understatement calling him a terrific player. Maybe the most deadly offensive player in the NBA when the ball's in his hands. That's what makes him so dynamic and what he brings to the table. If you look at James Harden's track record, though, like he's been terrific since Arizona State. A guy that can get his own shot on anybody. He can score in the phone booth. He has terrific vision. Great range, like there's nothing that James Harden can't do. But the reason why I believe Steph Curry is a better player, and it's just my opinion, is Steph Curry is just as equally dangerous with the ball in his hands, and he's equally dangerous. Well, I think he's more dangerous with the ball not in his hands. I think that's the separator between James Harden and Steph Curry. The ultimate separator between James Harden and Steph Curry is Curry's ability to be dangerous when the ball's not even in his hands. When James Harden doesn't have the ball in his hands, he's not as lethal. I just think Curry has this magnetism, this gravity pull with him to shift the defense when he doesn't have the ball, and that's where I kind of separate the two there. But to your point, James Harden rebounds the ball better. He's bigger. He's a better defender, not by a lot, but he is. And these are, again, we're talking about apples and oranges. But when you look at what Steph Curry has been able to do at one destination, I kind of call Curry I call him the ultimate chess piece. I look at the NBA as like a chessboard, and Steph Curry is the only chess piece that hasn't moved yet. And I look at James Harden, that was at OKC. He moved this chess piece to Houston. LeBron has moved to Miami, back to Cleveland, to LA. That chess piece has moved. Harden, again, he's moved. Paul George, he's moved. So I look at Steph Curry as this ultimate chess piece that's controlling this giant board while everybody else is kind of playing musical chairs. Steph Curry has stayed right there on the board, and he continues to have success. So that's why I choose Steph Curry. I mean, obviously he revolutionized the game as well, but I chose Steph Curry because of those reasons. But I love both players. I saw James Harden with my own eyes. I was in Atlanta with Trey when Houston came into town to play Atlanta. I was front row, and it was the first time I actually got to see James Harden with my own eyes live.
Right.
And, you know, we hoopers, so we see the game different than the average fan.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of looking at how he breaks people down. I had a video of him that went viral on ESPN of him breaking guys down, and just his ability to kind of shift the defense with the ball in his hands. I don't think nobody's better in the NBA than James Harden with that.
I mean, nah. And the way you broke it down, man, like, you know, Steph, that was a great point. Like, you just spoke the gospel. And like I said, Yoda, like, I can't knock that.
Right.
And the fact that you pointed out to me about Steph is like, damn, like, this guy's a beast, which I already knew that.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just like, to me, when people think like that it's this big separation of the two.
No, it's not a big separation.
And it goes to what I always like to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm going to mix it up. It's like if you and I are going, you know, you hit me up and I'm down there in Florida, or I hit you up if I go to Florida and I say, yo, let's step out. Let's go hit a bar around the town, watch this game. You know what I'm saying? We may go sit at the bar. You might order you a hen and Coke. You might like to drink brown. But I'm going to want that peach Ciroc. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what it is. Or we got to flip it the other way around. You like the peach Ciroc because Steph Curry is light skinned. I'm going to take James Harden with the dark hen. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, people get caught up in, Steph have titles and this, that, and other. I didn't ask who had the better career. Right. That wasn't a question that was asked. It was asked who was the better all-around player. And like I said, I can't get mad at nobody for choosing Steph because both of these guys are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, it's not even a debate. That's not a debate.
It's crazy to me, though. Like, but it's to the point, though, Yoda, that people gotta quit getting mad because other people go a different direction.
Right. I wasn't mad at all when I saw it. I mean, I understood your take, and I understand how great James Harden is because I saw him with my own eyes, and I was able to break him down with basketball eyes, and was like, man, this guy's really incredible. So shout out to James Harden and Steph Curry. You guys are going to have a terrific career going forward, and it's going to be a fantastic Hall of Fame speech for both of you guys. Let's move to the next subject. Man, this has been kind of the talk of the town for a while. So recently,
what's going on?
So there's been some audio recording of Michael Jordan saying he wouldn't play with Isiah if he was selected on the Dream Team. So the question I have, maybe I'll go first. But the question I have is, did MJ rob us of being able to see the most competitive team ever by basically not allowing Isiah to join the team? So to answer that question, I'm going to say yes. I think Michael Jordan robbed the basketball community of watching not only himself, but Isiah Thomas, them playing together. I mean, in my opinion, I believe Isiah Thomas and Michael Jordan are the most competitive basketball players to ever play. I put out a competitor list a couple of days ago, and it kind of made some headlines. I had Isiah Thomas as my number 1 competitor and Jordan as my number 2 competitor, Kobe Bryant number 3, Gary Payton 4, Larry Bird 5. And the reason that I put Isiah Thomas as my number 1 competitor is you have to understand when being 6'1" and competing at the highest level of, or earning yourself to the highest level, it takes a different amount of competitive nature to get there. Now, and here's why. During Isiah's tenure as a basketball player, not only in the NBA, but in college and in high school, basketball was never designed for a guy like Isiah Thomas to be great.
Thanks.
The rules have always catered for bigger guys and athletes. So you have to have something inside of you.
Especially during that time. But
especially during that time. So you have to look at it from the eyes of a 6'1" guy that's been the best pound for pound black basketball player that I've ever seen. There's competitiveness there. Now, when you look at Michael Jordan, his competitive nature comes from a different set of lenses, right? Like Michael 6'6", a little bigger, athletic, the game catered to the way he played. That's why I kind of gave Isiah Thomas the nudge of being a better competitor than Michael Jordan, because the NBA was designed for Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Like, the stage was set for those 2 guys. And guess what?
2 guys that's over 6'8".
2 guys over 6'8".
Yeah.
It was designed for those 2. But then here comes a 6'1" kid out of the west side of Chicago, and he's going to mess up the narrative. Do you know how competitive you have to be to disrupt Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan? Do you know how competitive you got to be? Hey. That's why Isiah Thomas is the top competitor to ever play in the NBA. Look what he disrupted. It's there. Like, it's documented. The stage was set. So we were robbed of watching Isiah Thomas and Michael Jordan share the same court for our country. To be great, I mean, can you imagine the highlights, Perk? Just think about it. Just give it a thought real quick.
I'm just thinking about those 2 in the backcourt together. While you sitting up here giving me this gospel, you know, out of Luke chapter 9, verse 21, and I'm sitting back here absorbing all this like a sponge. Now that you get to this point, I'm just thinking about how deadly them 2 would have been in the backcourt. Like, you talking about 2 savages. But look, but keep on, because you're on the road. Keep on right now.
So this is the best. This would have been the best backcourt ever. Michael Jordan and Isiah Thomas. And here's why. Look, Jordan didn't want Isiah on the dream team because of his competitive nature. You got an apex predator that don't like the other apex predator, and they don't want to be in the same room. Zeke's unwillingness to take a back seat ultimately costed him. And Zeke, being a competitor that he is, you knew that he wasn't going to back down because he was the guy that was kicking Jordan's tail for so long. Right. So Zeke had every right to not want to take a back seat. Now, let me talk about the big picture, the business side of it, okay? Make sure everybody, you guys are listening at home. See, the NBA, when Isiah Thomas was in the NBA in the early stages, the NBA was about branding teams. It was all about branding teams. Branding the Los Angeles Lakers with Magic Johnson as a team. Branding Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics as a team. Branding Isiah Thomas and the Pistons as a team. Nothing was done individually. Hell, Isiah, Magic, Bird, Bernard King, Mark Aguirre, they all shared the same commercial and wore the same shoe. They were just different colors. They were not branding individual players until Michael Jordan arrived. Once Michael Jordan arrived to the NBA changed its business model and said, let's scrap the team branding and let's start branding individuals.
So what did MJ bring to the table? What he bought, Yoda?
Disney World.
He was Disney World. He was Disney World. He was Disney World. So people think I'm a Jordan hater, but I'm not. He was Disney World. He bought the roller coasters. He bought the funnel cakes, the cotton candy. You know what I'm saying? The games where you go shoot the hoops and win the big stuffed animals and hand them to your lady. But carry on, man, because you preach.
So once Jordan entered the NBA was like, let's scrap this team branding thing. Enough with the Pistons team branding, enough with the Lakers team branding, enough with the Celtics branding. We're going to start branding individuals. So guess what the NBA did? Michael Jordan got his own individual shoe. When Magic, Isiah, and Bird shared the same Converse, just different colors. This is not a go on YouTube and look at the commercial. They all shared the same shoe. Right. So Michael Jordan was empowered by the NBA to be an individual. I don't think Isiah Thomas liked that. Because teams is what Isiah Thomas was all about. He won at Indiana in 81. He won in high school. He came to the NBA and won. Isiah always valued team. Michael Jordan valued individual play. And guess what, Perk? Michael Jordan started valuing team play once Isiah started beating him.
Yeah.
So Jordan was
smacking him up.
So Jordan was like, man, this individual thing's not working. Maybe I need to pass it to John Paxson for 3. Maybe I need to pass it to Steve Kerr for 3. That was because Isiah Thomas kind of instilled that.
Hell, he said it himself. Jordan said it himself on The Last Dance. He said, I knew we turned the corner when Scottie Pippen got up from that hard foul by Dennis Rodman. You remember that?
Yes, I do. The push.
The push. So he said, it just relating to your points that he seen it. Like once my team started to come along, I knew we was going to get past the Pistons, which is just validating what you're saying. My bad. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I needed that. That's what I'm saying. So Michael Jordan, let's get back to the question. So Michael Jordan was so powerful as an individual.
Yes.
That he was able to hold Isiah out because of the individual power that the NBA started to brand him as. They wasn't branding him with the Chicago Bulls. They was branding him as Michael Jordan.
What's the two P's?
Powerful, popular.
Go ahead. Preach.
So that's kind of what happened there.
I got my Bible open. I told you I'm following along. I'm following along, but keep going. So that's kind of what happened. It was unfortunate. And I'm a Michael Jordan guy, but I'm also an Isiah Thomas guy. So for me, it hurts me to see that. But I side with Isiah Thomas because
I was a small player, and I know some of the mountains that he had to climb that Michael Jordan didn't have to. It's really that simple. So both of them are GOATs, and hopefully one day that those two can reconcile and move forward, because Michael Jordan is so meaningful for the game, and Isiah Thomas may be even more meaningful to the game today than he ever was. Think about this.
You know how they did Third Street.
Yeah, we're in a small church. We only got one ceiling fan.
Oh, go ahead.
So I'm gonna say this and we'll move on. I'm gonna say this, so please listen to me. This is why Isiah Thomas is more relevant to the NBA than probably any other player that's played in the 80s and 90s. Ooh. Isiah Thomas game is maybe the only player outside of Michael Jordan and maybe a sprinkle of other guys, that game is still, you can take his game and put it in today's game and he'll still be a superstar. If you put Isiah Thomas on the Philadelphia 76ers right now, what happens to the 76ers?
Parade. What day is the parade? That's what happens.
His game is so relevant to today's game. That's why Isiah Thomas needs to be engulfed in the NBA. Now, secondly, before I move on, this is another reason why Isiah Thomas is more relevant into today's game. Every team in the NBA plays high pick and roll and side pick and roll. And they play with small backcourts. The first team to really exercise that style of play and win with it, the Detroit Pistons, with Isiah Thomas and Joe Dumars.
Well, you just caught me off guard because I sure was about to say the Splash Brothers.
No. Splash Brothers are bigger.
No, you're right. No, I'm saying you're right. When you were setting up that question, I was answering. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gold. And then you just said that, and they made me sit back and be like, hold on, stay in your lane.
Yeah. So listen to this. The Pistons were the first team to have success running a high pick and roll and a side pick and roll while playing with two small backcourts. Joe Dumars, 6'3", Isiah Thomas, 6'1". Now the NBA is doing it. Now the NBA today is all about two small backcourts. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum.
Fred, Kyle Lowry.
High ball screen, side ball screen. How many teams in the NBA are copying the Chicago Bulls? I'll wait. How many teams running the triangle offense? I'll wait. Let me know when you got an answer.
Shit, none.
Oh, okay. So that's why Isiah Thomas is so relevant to today's game, because he basically embodied what the NBA is all about right now as far as team play. And you also have to credit his teammates as well. But Isiah was the main great white shark that started that. So,
I mean, hey, bro, listen. that was like, I mean, man, listen, amen. That's all I can say. I don't even have anything to say to piggyback off of that. Like, you just gave all the audience and everybody, including myself, a hell of a show for free.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That was free game that should have been paid for. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay to hear this type of info. Like, that was straight knowledge right there. The only thing I want to say to add on to that, because I'm actually exhausted about talking about that whole situation, is that I feel like I did my job. And you know why? Was because everybody, except for you, Yoda, was ready to ride with MJ. Because again, popular and powerful, right? So everybody so what, MJ didn't want him on the team? So what, he lied? And swept it all under the bus. So what? If who cares about Isiah Thomas' feelings and his legacy? We do. And guess what? And guess what? I never shared this, and I ain't even tell you. Me and you talk on the phone all the time.
Right.
Never told you this. I never told no one this. But guess what? I got a message from one of Isiah Thomas' family members that said, "Thank you, Perk, for standing up for my uncle, Isiah Thomas." That meant more to me than any other the million other people in the world right now that's saying, "Oh, Perk, man, you just MJ hater." Nah, that one family member that sent me that message, I did my job.
Facts.
I did my job.
Facts.
So you just spoke the gospel.
Like we always say, cleanse your soul.
Cleanse it.
Look, so we'll go to the next question. Let's get more current with everybody. So the season's probably gonna start back up later. But if we had to give out some awards, let's try to get through this quickly. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. I want to hear run down your award list, and I'm sure we may have some disagreements at one of these.
And that's what family and brothers do. Sometimes we may fight.
We about to.
But I'm gonna start with my sixth man. I'm going with Dennis Schroeder, okay, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think when you look at what his numbers and what he's done with OKC, I was looking, he's right now he's like 0.2 under his career high when we was averaging like 19.7 with the Hawks. He's averaging just a little under that coming off the bench for Oklahoma City. It was about 5 games this season. No, about 10 games this season where he took over the fourth quarter and actually won the game for the Thunder. I think he's under the radar and not getting enough credit. He's averaging right around 4.5 assists, 3 rebounds off the bench.
Yeah.
And they're going with that 3-guard combo, CP, Shea Alexander, and Dennis Schroeder. And
like the Pistons used to do in the 80s.
Yeah, just like that. Just like that. And they're having success at that, by the way. They're winning. Okay. I'm going to go to my most improved player. My most improved player, at first, it was Jason Tatum, right? I was like, Jason Tatum. And I think he's still up there. And I think I want to stick with him, Yoda, but I'm kind of torn in between the two because I have this soft spot for big men.
Okay.
And I think Bam Adebayo deserves a ton of credit because, in my opinion, he's the best player on the Miami Heat.
I agree.
Without him, the Miami Heat would not be in the position that they are today. Okay, so with that being said, on that one, I'm torn in between the two. I can't lie. Okay. So I don't have a straight up answer for you, and I'm still thinking about it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a hard debate. Defensive Player of the Year, I got to go with Anthony Davis. Okay. They rank second in the league defensively. They top 5 in every category. He's top 5 in every category. Number 1 in a lot of categories. When you talk about the defensive efficiency, when you talk about, even shot blocking, when you're looking at a guy who's so versatile on the defensive end, he's able to switch 1 through 5 pick and rolls, able to guard all positions. He's anchored that Laker defense. Okay. So now I'm gonna move on.
Give my Rookie of the Year. Give my Rookie of the Year first. Give my Rookie of the Year.
So the Rookie of the Year, man, is hands down. Everybody want to talk about, Zion, and Zion is he's played some great basketball. He hasn't played enough basketball, so it's a landslide to me.
Yeah,
and I'm going with your pick, and I'm going with your same Patrick Mahomes. You know what Patrick Mahomes is, right? Who is your Mahomes?
John Morant, baby.
Here, point blank. I mean, here we go. We talking about a generational talent.
Yeah.
Like one of one.
One of one.
We got a guy that, in my eyes, is athletic like Russell Westbrook, handles like Kyrie Irving. You see what I'm saying? Like the ball is on the string.
On the
Handles
string.
like Kyrie Irving, and he dropping dimes like Rajon Rondo. You know what I'm saying? That's
Like
all.
that combo.
That's all in one. On top of that, he has a winner mentality. I haven't seen a guy that came in as a rookie with this type and took over a franchise since Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Point guard position. Like, let's not get it twisted. When CP went to New Orleans, like he made that franchise like relevant. No disrespect to Baron Davis and David Wesley. Yeah. But CP took him to newer heights, like Western Conference Finals, that type of stuff, right? So John Morant, what he's doing in Memphis right now, man, no, everyone counted Memphis out. I thought it was going to take time. I didn't think
I did too.
I didn't think they was going to be sitting at the number 8 spot in the West. But now, this is why I know I'm going to ruffle your feathers and piss you off a little bit. My MVP is, old LeBron James. And I'm tired of saying his name, but when you that great, I guess your name pops up like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
LeBron James, to me, he's arguably having one of his best years since the year in Miami when he averaged 29 points and shot 56% from the field, because I'm looking at his body of work that he's putting in right now, and everybody saying year 17 and he's 35. I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at that when he's off the court, the Lakers rank 29th offensively. When he's on the court, they rank second.
Yeah, that's a huge.
I mean, I'm talking about going from,
that's a huge differential.
One spot to damn near the last spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On top of that, he never averaged a double-double. And now
NBA assists, right? He's leading the NBA in assists right now.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, Yoda, he's joining that 2010 club. And what people I don't know if the listeners are listening, but the 2010 club, that's a different type of club. Like, you got to give people their flowers. When you are able to average 20 and 10 for an 82 game season, you special.
That's that Magic Johnson.
You are him. You see what I'm saying? And then alongside of that, he's able to pull down 8 rebounds. Now, let me tell you why the 8 rebounds are so special, though, Yoda.
Okay.
Because he's playing on the court with Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee,
Dwight Howard,
and Rajon Rondo, who is one of the best rebounding point guards that this game has ever saw. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, and he still managed to get 8 rebounds throughout all that. So, I'm just looking at the body work. Plus, they're number 1 in the Western Conference, which is a big deal. And they're only 4 games back from they was only 4 games back from the number 1 spot before the pandemic. So they had room to catch up and arguably finish with the best record in the league. So that's why I picked LeBron James as my MVP. And I'm glad Dame Dollar, shout out Dame Lillard.
What's up, Dame? That's my dude, man. Dame Dollar, baby.
Great dude. Been a winner since he came into the league.
Thanks.
A special talent, and he definitely will be in the Hall of Fame. But listen, Dame said his MVP is LeBron James too. So, hey, look, yo, fall back, and I'm going to let you go ahead and because I know you ready. I can see it. I can see, you know what I know you on some BS? You started turning red, and I know you're ready. Go ahead. I already know what's happening.
So, I'm good. 6th man of the year. I'm going to get through it quick. I ain't going to keep you guys long. This will be short and sweet. 6th man, Dennis Schroeder, I agree with you there. Just having a terrific year. The Oklahoma City Thunder play a lot like the Detroit Pistons in the 80s with the 3-guard offense, small guard, torching people. We'll move on from there. Most improved player. I know you were juggling. For me, Man, I really like Pascal Siakam as most improved player. I do, but
Again?
Brandon Ingram. I know. That's what I'm saying, but that's why I say I can't give it to him again. So my choice is Brandon Ingram. Is my choice for most improved player.
You just shocked me because I was sold that you was going with Bam. I know how much you love Bam, but I cannot knock you because BI has been something special.
I really, and I'm a person who, when I first watched Brandon Ingram, I wasn't really impressed with him in college. And once he got to the NBA, I wasn't impressed. But I started to dig deeper into his game and say, you know what, maybe this kid needs a change of scenery because LA is not for everybody. So when rookies go to LA, there's no in between. You're either going to fail or you're going to succeed. And I just think that he failed there, but I think it was because of the scenery.
Right.
As soon as he went to New Orleans, I had a feeling in my soul, because you got to have a clean soul when we're doing this. I said, you know what? I'm gonna give this kid Brandon Ingram a chance, and he has been terrific. Like, I've turned into a huge supporter of Brandon Ingram, and just to see his maturation off the court and what he's been able to do as a number one option, I just believe that the New Orleans Pelicans hit the lottery with him even more than they did with Zion, because he's going to be healthy. He's going to play 80 games a year. He's a 3-and-D guy, but he can score it. He's 6'10" in the quarter. Really love him.
He's a gym rat. He's a gym. Listen, backstory, and I'm glad because it's a great point real quick. Rajon Rondo, the Lakers are playing in town last year. Rondo called me. I go pick him up, and we're just talking about the team. And he's like, I'm on the Kuzma kind of, bandwagon a little bit. I'm like, man, Kuzma got a tremendous upside. He like, nah, Brandon Ingram, B.I. is that dude. I kept saying, I see it, but I don't. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, nah. And it's crazy that you touched on the change of scenery, because Rondo told me out of his mouth, nah, he needs his own team. He needs the ball in his hands, and you will see. This is what Rondo told me. On my kids, he told me this. And me and you never had this conversation.
No, we never talked about Brandon Ingram. We never talked about it.
Bring that up and say that he needed a change of scenery. It was the same thing that Rondo told me. Because Rondo was saying, like, the Lakers really didn't really want to give up Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram was really the piece that made the trade happen. David Griffin was like, nah, I need B.I. in this trade. But carry on. I just wanted to touch you were speaking the gospel, and I had to get that story.
So, Defensive Player of the Year was tricky for me.
That
was tricky. Because I really like AD. I do. I like AD there, but I'm torn because I believe Bam Adebayo. I'm kind of torn. I'm torn because AD is a hybrid post that can guard all 5 positions, like you've already said. He's the anchor. Just his ability to. There's not a lot of defensive players that can make the other 4 guys look like they playing defense too. Anthony Davis does that. Like Anthony can be on defense with me, you, Rich, and TJ, and we're gonna look like we playing defense just because Anthony on our team. You see what I'm saying? Like, he has that defensive magnetism about him.
And by the way, Rich and TJ are the producers of No Agendas, goddammit. If y'all didn't know, I just had to let y'all know. People know.
Yeah, those are our guys. Those are the guys that make the magic happen. But
right, they do.
You can put us on the same team with AD, and I think we'll be one of the top defensive teams in the NBA.
I mean, because look, that's crazy that you said it, because although New Orleans had struggled at times when they were always at the top 5
on defense.
Yes, all the time.
So that's why I like that pick. But Bam Adebayo kind of has the same traits. Like Bam makes everybody else look like they're playing defense, but it's really him. It's like, I'm gonna talk about your boy because your boy does this from the safety position in football. Earl Thomas playing safety, like great safeties can cover up for your defense in the NFL. If you got a great safety like a Ed Reed, Earl Thomas, guys like that, where Derwin James is my favorite safety in the NFL. If he can stay healthy,
they anchor
the defense. So I look at Bam Adebayo as like that safety, like he does that for Miami. So I'm torn there,
and I understand.
So I don't. Yeah,
I can't knock you, big bro, and I understand. It's crazy because, man, you hitting so many great points on every single thing today that is bringing back memories. Like Bam, so good defensively that Pat Riley got Hassan Whiteside up out of there. Hassan Whiteside, listen, was top 5 in shot blocking, bro.
We'll need you no
more. I'm a holler.
Yeah, I don't know if a defensive player of the year has ever been shared.
That's okay.
But I got Anthony Davis and Bam like at a dead even tie.
And I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so that's how I look at that. Now, rookie of the year is kind of a no-brainer for me. I chose Ja Morant in college. I'm choosing him in the NBA. I've been riding with Ja since high school. So I just think Ja has he has a way of commanding the room. And a lot of players, particularly point guards, in order to win in the NBA or at college or high school, the point guard has to be able to command the room. And Ja has that commanding aura about him that everybody around him trusts that he's going to do the right thing for the team. And he's been able to put that on full display. And those are things, Perk, that don't show up in a stat sheet about Ja. Look, I love Zion. I love his dunks. I love that he's box office. I go and get my popcorn if I'm at the game. I get all of that. But what Ja brings to the table is something that I just think can be sustained a longer period of time, longer than Zion can play that way.
And it reminds you of who? The man in the room and been a winner since he stepped foot into the league that we just talked about.
LeBron James.
Oh, Chris Paul.
Oh, dang. Well, yeah, well, of course. Well, Chris Paul, I mean, from the point guard position.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, LeBron's been a winner, but I'm talking about that PG position.
The point guard position, you have to command the room. Chris Paul, LeBron James is kind of like a point guard, but Ja has that. And he's done it at Memphis. And that's why he's my rookie of the year. I don't even care if Zion would have played 60, 70 games. I just believe that what Ja brings to the table from a point guard position is something that just all GMs are looking for, that point guard, that superstar quarterback. Everybody wants a Patrick Mahomes, but everybody can't get one.
Hey, listen, you done dropped a lot of gems on me, man, and a lot of gems just throughout. But that comparison right there, man, that was one of your all-time greats to me. Because so on point, like both of them being young and the impact that they had immediately, not wait, like the immediate impact. And it was like, that was right on, dog.
They won.
And
they won. So that's why I got Ja Morant as rookie of the year. And I believe Ja will eventually be an MVP of the league. And I do think that Memphis will be a thorn in the Dallas Mavericks side. I think I think Ja Morant is more of Luka Doncic's arch nemesis than Trae Young is. Because they're both in the West. So Luka and Ja are going to have some great battles for the years to come. And I just want to be a fly on the wall and just watch both of those great superstars go at it.
We'll be watching together.
Yeah, we'll be watching that. So my MVP, look at you. Now you about to get mad at me. So look, it was tough for me because LeBron James has been just freaking amazing this season. And I told you this, Perk. I've grown to have a greater appreciation for what LeBron James brings to the table. And I've admitted that. I've admitted that.
You told me that several times. Matter of fact, you said this on the show, and you told me that on outside the show when we have our personal conversations. I can't. No lie.
Yeah. I've grown to really appreciate what LeBron James brings to the table as a basketball player. And I think a lot of times what has clouded my judgment is I think the oversaturation of his greatness, if that makes any sense. I think sometimes great players, their surroundings can oversaturate how great they are, and it clouds people that are just trying to be a purist. So with LeBron James, I think this has been probably his second best season ever. And the reason why I don't pick him for MVP this year, but he is 1B. If you had 70 votes, I would give 70 votes to Giannis and 69.5 to LeBron. And here's why I give Giannis the very small nudge is that his team is the number one team in the NBA. I think Giannis continues to improve. Statistically, I think he's had the highest PER somewhere near Wilt Chamberlain area. I don't know. Analytics guys, please help us because me and Perk are not analytics guys.
Oh, that's his PER is something that we never saw since like Wilt Chamberlain. That's facts. Like
yes, his PER is really high, which means that he's really affecting the game on a lot of areas. You can make an argument, and this is why I think I give Giannis the edge, because you can make an argument that Giannis could be up for Defensive Player of the Year. Because defensively, he's been terrific this season on just guarding his man, understanding coverages. Offensively, he's gotten much better at making guys around him better, making the right reads. Last year, they couldn't beat Toronto because Giannis failed to make the right reads. And I'll take anybody through the film if you want to watch it. Last year, Giannis failed to make the proper reads to make plays for his teammates. This season, as I watch games, Perk, when we watch games, we can see stuff happen before it's about to happen. So I'm watching Milwaukee last year, and I'm like, as Giannis is bringing the ball up the court, I'm like, oh, you got to hit that. You got to hit that. You got to hit the corner here. You got to hit the corner here, Giannis. And he wouldn't hit the corner.
Wow.
So this year, I'm like, Giannis, you got to hit the corner. You got to hit the corner. And he hitting it. It's almost like he knows the mistakes he was making last year. He's not making them this year. So I see a huge difference in his game as a facilitator and understanding time and situation. But I think LeBron James gets cheated a lot because LeBron James is almost like Peyton Manning, right? Like you can give him MVP every year until he retires.
Right.
He's that great.
Right. But it goes to our discussion, though, that personal discussion you and I had before I jumped on First Take this morning.
Yeah.
It's that difference between being the best player in the world and the MVP. The MVP is seasonal. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's seasonal.
Yeah.
But like I said, when we both talk, it's that longevity that makes you the best player in the world. It's a difference. Right. You know what I said earlier. You can't just jump to a sergeant major. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn that. It's about 10 steps. Like if you're in the Army, you can't just get to the sergeant major. You got to sustain excellence and greatness for a long period of time. And that's what I think you're getting at. But it's crazy, Yoda, because, man, it's like I was torn between the two, dog. And I'm right there with you. Like, I can't knock you for saying that Giannis is your MVP, dog, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, he's up there. He's up there. Like he could do something that haven't been done since Hakeem Olajuwon, and only 2 players has done it: Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon, and that's when Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same year. And he's right there to do it. So, and you talk about that PER, man. That PER, yeah, we're not stats and analytics, but that PER means something.
It means something. PER means something.
So I can't knock you on that, brother.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of look at it. But let's get to the next subject. I think we spent enough time on that. Quick thing. So here, will this year's champion, will it have an asterisk by it?
No.
Wow.
It won't have an asterisk. It's gonna have an exclamation mark.
Ooh.
You talk about a championship, bro. When you talking about championships, the first word comes to mind should be adversity, because you got to go through so much adversity to win a championship. And dealing with this pandemic and the difficult circumstances that these players are going to have to deal with outside the normal, being in a bubble, being away from their families, or now they're saying that certain family members could go playing in the game without fans. No, I think, and I'm going to keep it short and sweet, I actually think it might be one of the greatest championships in NBA history.
Whoa.
Due to the circumstances that we're dealing with. Because now it's a different type of mental toughness. It's not a question mark by this championship. I think it's an exclamation mark. Like, you win this one, it's like people gonna start looking at you with a different type of, in a different light. Like, hold on, man. Like, you was able to overcome this. You see what I'm saying?
You got me with that one. I didn't think you was gonna take that stance, but wow, I didn't think about it that way. Here's my answer, and I'm gonna get back to what you said, because it's just that I want to kind of touch on that. That's a great point. I didn't think about it like that. Look, I believe that there will be an asterisk with the champion depending on who wins it. I believe, right? Look, I believe that depending on who wins the championship, the goalpost will be moved depending on who wins.
Okay.
So if the Lakers win, then the goalpost will be moved. You know it.
Yeah.
The goalpost will be like, we stopped in the middle and LeBron got his rest.
Right. Because it's LeBron.
Right.
It's no other way around it. No agendas. It's just because it's Braun, and Braun got his rest, like he caused the coronavirus. Right. Go ahead.
Right. So if Milwaukee wins it or the Clippers win it, the goalpost will not move. It's gonna stay just like this. Right down the middle. Hey, if the Lakers win, the goalpost gonna go move over here. It's gonna be like,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
So to kind of go back on what you said, though, like, I want to kind of talk about what your point was, because your point really made a lot of sense, that you're basically talking about the adversity that every team has to go through. It's not like one team has an advantage over the other. Everybody had to go to their respective corners.
Yes.
quarantine it out, and now we back to the battlefield and may the best man win.
Period.
I can't argue that. I can't argue that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Because it tests who was dedicated. Who was dedicated doing it's got I know, I get it. We're hoopers. You can't get in basketball shape without playing basketball.
Yeah, you got to play.
But you also could put on weight and fall completely off the map too if you was sitting around BSing. So now it's go see who was really putting in that extra to keep to stay chiseled, or who went to advantage. Who went to advantage during this pandemic? You know what I'm saying?
Who was eating them Patti LaBelle pies?
Straight up. And that's what I'm saying.
I saw them Patti LaBelle pies at Walmart the other day, bro. Hey, I had to walk past them.
I'm trying to tell you, man, I had to tell my wife and mother-in-law, man, stop bringing them in the house, man. Like, stop getting them. It's too easy to pop them in the oven. 20 minutes.
Hey, and they got the little personal ones too, like the little mini ones now too. Hey, bro. Hey, you got to stay away from the Patti LaBelles, bro.
Okay, I need to listen to Patti LaBelle do a sing, man. Hey, look, I'm staying away from the Patti LaBelles, man, because you know what the Patti LaBelles leads to for me? It leads to me leaving out the house at midnight, going to the Valero Stripes, and going to get me some vanilla ice cream to go with.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's all downhill. It's all downhill. You gotta have discipline, man. Like, I try to keep my point guard discipline when I walk through that section at Walmart, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, so last subject though. So there's a rumor that the salary cap is probably going to take a significant dip in this year's free agency. So if you were up for free agency, Perk, say you up for free agency or an extension, would you take a shorter term deal, or would you just wait it out until everything got back to normal?
See, that's a tough question, man. This is where you walk a fine line, though, Yoda, because it's like, if you already got your payday, right? If you're a free agent that's coming up and you already then got a big payday and was able to secure your future, now you can look at things a little different and say, you know what? I could take a long-term deal, another long-term deal at a smaller amount. Not that much of you know what I'm saying, where it's like a major drop-off, but I could afford to take 15 million less. You know what I'm saying? Like, throughout the whole deal. Like, instead of 85, I could afford to get 70. Like, because I already then maxed out and got 100 or whatever the case may be. Now, if it's your first time around, you got to think about a lot of things, bro. You still got to think the same way. You like, man, should I take a short-term deal and play it out and take a gamble and then break the bank? Or do I gotta take this to secure my future? Because you still gotta remember, Yoda, that like you're passing up, like tomorrow ain't promised. So the major bag that you're passing up, regardless of the fact. So you still gotta take in consideration, like it's a risk of getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? And like my grandpa used to tell me, you never pass up some for show trying to get some more. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I look at it. So it's like, it depends on who you are. It depends on your financial situation. It depends if you're a vet, if you're a youngin. It just depends, man. If you're about taking risks or not.
So let's think about it. Let's look at it like this. Let's take John Collins out of the Atlanta Hawks, who had a pretty much almost a 50-40, like 50-40-90 damn season almost. Like
No,
I
he was
mean,
a beast.
he was a beast this year. His contract's coming up for the Atlanta Hawks. You know, the Atlanta Hawks is my favorite team in the NBA. So when you look at a guy like John Collins, who's in this situation, you know, that the question is what does a player like him do that's played up to max potential, but do the Hawks have the capital to basically pay him? And I'm pro player. I'm pro player. I love John Collins, and I think he deserves his money. I believe if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you have to look at it like this. We got to pay somebody eventually.
Right.
You know, obviously Trae Young is going to get the supermax when his time comes up.
Oh, that's fact.
So you got to find the other two guys to pay. And I believe John Collins is the next guy in line to pay. When you look at the Atlanta Hawks roster, like there's nobody else to pay.
Listen, it's Trae Young, you know what I'm saying? John Collins, and then you have they just got Clint Capella, and then you got your rookies. But to your point, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
John Collins, right? And say you were expecting to get, I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
Say you was expecting to get 85 million.
Okay.
Say us dealing with this pandemic and everything is taking a hit, and the Hawks came to you and said, we're only able to give you 65.
Yeah.
You give me your answer, because I know what I'm going to tell you, but you give me your answer. If you're John Collins, what are you going to do?
I'm going to do what your grandfathers have told you. Hey,
man, like this here, brother. It's a reason that you and I mean, we think alike. It's go ahead.
I'm taking the money up front. I'm not playing no games with that. It's like, look, I'll take the 65. I understand that the pandemic has done this. Guess what I would do, though, on top of that 65? Can we somehow work some incentives in this contract? If we can work some incentives, I gladly take 65, but can we put an extra 15 million in incentives in here? Because now you give me something to work towards. So if I'm John Collins, I would sign that deal because of the pandemic, and maybe not a long-term deal, maybe 3 years, 65. And then, because anytime you can put me alongside Trae Young, he's going to make me look better anyway. So you know this as a big, the better the point guard you play with, the more money you going to make.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rondo.
So,
because I played with Rondo in Boston, but I got traded to OKC. But I didn't play a game in OKC, and I cashed in 40 million before I even stepped foot on the court. Thank you, Rondo.
Exactly. So if you're John Collins, you take the deal what Atlanta gives you because you're going to play with Trae Young for the next 3 to 4 years. Trae Young is going to get you paid. Great point guards get their big man paid. Think about that, John Collins. Stay in Atlanta. Stay with Trae Young. Get your lettuce because Trae Young going to keep getting you paid, dog. Look at all the great point guards. Rajon Rondo gets people paid. Chris Paul gets people paid. Trae Young's going to get you paid. Ja Morant's going to get you paid. When you play with them type of dudes, you get money. Play with them.
Hey, First Street Baptist Church, baby.
We only got one ceiling fan. We working on passing the collection plate.
We preaching in here today, boy. It's a lot of gospel. Look, so nobody ready to go home. You know how the preacher say, "Do y'all want me to keep going?" And crowd say, "Yeah, amen. Keep going, Pastor. Say it."
We got the one fan in the church, but it's going slow. You know, you go to the church and that fan going slow. It's like, why? Put that thing on ultra speed.
And we got the windows open.
But we working here at No Agendas. We trying to get the church ceiling fans. We trying to get a couple more fans in the service. But to kind of, you know, to kind of close the show today, gotta, you know, really don't want to address this, but we have to. It's just we're kind of all grieving the loss of George Floyd, we witnessed his murder on film by a police officer, and I just, Perk, I'm gonna let you talk about it first because I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to process it. Don't really know what to say right now, so I'm gonna let you go first, and then.
To be honest, Joe, there's no way to process it. It is what it is at this point. Like, every time this situation get brought up or get brought back to my attention, because I try to put it in the back of my mind because it brings out rage. You know what I'm saying? It brings this madness. Like, it's no more like, marching like you said. It's no more of this. It's like, it's like, what's happening? Like, for real. Like, we to that point. Like, what's happening? Like, it ain't no more friendly talk. It's like, dog, what's up? Like, I won't smoke. Because it builds that rage, bro. Like, and it's crazy that you even brought this up, because as we were sitting up here doing our show right now, we was talking about basketball. And when I always say that basketball, people don't understand. If you're not an athlete, if you're not a hooper, you can't relate to this when I say that basketball sports is a sanctuary for us, brother. Like, it takes us away from all the nonsense that's outside. So, like, at the end of the day, when I was sitting up here, you and I were talking and discussing sports and dropping this good gospel today in here, no agendas, I had completely forgot about that situation for the moment. But then we had to address it because it's something that we need to, man. And it's sad, brother. And I said what I said. I made a post on my Instagram yesterday. Hey, man, that man flat out murdered him. You seen it in his eyes. He had no remorse. I don't know how he's still out right now. He should be locked up and should be locked up, and his whole ass should be in population. So the real motherfucking killers can make his life a living hell. Period, point blank, dog. Like, there's no way he should still be free. I don't give a damn about the firing and, we fired him. Oh, he's no longer part of the police department. I don't give a shit. He should be in jail. He should be in jail, dog. And I know you don't even like to get out of character. I get out of character for you. That's some hoe ass shit, man. I couldn't even watch the full 10 minutes of the video, man. The whole time I'm looking at the killer face, the murderer face. He's doing it on purpose. He wanted to kill that man. Come on, man. Stop playing, man. Like, it's no more friendly shit. It's no more, man, we go take a stand, man. We go have a peace rally, or, man, fuck a peace rally. Like, we to the point now where it's like, dog, what's up? Like, what's happening? Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to take it there, and you don't want to be in that bad place because you're not a racist. I'm not a racist. I love everybody, but it almost takes you back in the time where it's like, damn, dog, like, dog, I ain't really on that. Like, I caught myself in so much of a bad space, and I was telling you this before we even started the show. You remember this? I was telling you, man, I was commenting to people in my mentions, and it wasn't even about basketball no more. Right. To the point where I was like, you know what? Let me put my phone down, dog. So with me, I'm there with it, dog. I'm telling you that straight up. However we ready to ride with it, I'm ready to ride. That's just me, point blank. And call my bluff if you want. I'm ready to ride, dog. Straight up.
I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm hurt. You watching that video and watching a man plead for his life while somebody sat on his neck. I'm angry. I feel like we're so behind as a country. We're so divided as people that it'll always be that way. And here's why. as African American people, we build our foundation on trust at the end of the day. Not money, not your conversation, none of that. Trust. That if you want to be cool with an African American, then let him trust you. Him or her trust you. Everything for us is built on trust. We don't trust when we get pulled over no more that we're going to make it home. We don't trust if we run a stop sign that we're going to receive a ticket and we can just go home. We don't trust if we make an illegal turn at a red light by mistake that we're just going to get an $80 ticket and go home. We don't trust the system. And we watched a man get killed for selling cigarettes outside a store. We watched a guy get killed for a counterfeit, allegedly counterfeit $10 bill or allegedly. We watched Sandra Bland die over a signal. We don't trust the system. In order for this country to move anywhere, the first thing that needs to be instilled is trust. It's trust. And when I watched a judge hug a convicted killer after sentencing, I said to myself, we got a long way to go and we may never get there. I want to say rest in peace to George Floyd, family, to all those that are affected immediately. I'm upset. I'm upset.
And you know what's crazy though is that you brought up the word trust, right? Now, I'm sitting up here and it made me think back to all the photos I've been seeing all around across the internet, up and down Instagram. And now the coward was at our president peace rally. I mean, presidential rally or debate or campaign or whatever you want to call it. Shit, I don't give a fuck. He's there on stage with him, okay? Right next to the president. So when that word trust comes in again, I'm like, I really don't trust the system now, because who's to say that, he's been convicted of murder and he's going to go to jail? How we know he's really going to go to jail? Like, I don't trust that shit, because I'm sitting there watching this man again. I'm going to reiterate and talk about this situation again. When you're watching this video, the facial expression that this coward, this hoe ass motherfucker was making was like, yeah, I'm doing it, and what? I'm doing it, and what? And that's why I have a problem with it. Like, the killing, yes, but I'm doing it in the face, and what? And I'm going to keep doing it. Like, come on, dog. So I'm there with it, bro. I'm there. This was a great show. No agendas. You know what it is. It is what it is. No agendas. We keep it on it. And we just got to end right there. Because, I mean, I'm with you, dog. Like, however they want to take it, I'm ready to go there. Like, whatever. So,
America, cleanse your soul. No agendas. Talk soon.